Here we go, double feature everybody! I'm reviewing both these games since they are very short on their own. So let's go! Castlevania Adventure for the Nintendo Game Boy tells the story of Christopher Belmont, a direct descendant of our friend Trevor Belmont. His first adventure in, well, Castlevania Adventure sees the usual Count Dracula shenanigans. The Prince of Darkness returned and has to be put down again. Christopher can do all the usual stuff a Belmont can do, jump and whip. This time around there are no sub-weapons though. But the legendary Vampire Killer Whip can be upgraded to a more powerful weapon to make up for this. Christopher loses this upgrade though once he gets hit by an enemy. Oh, and did I mention that he can climb on ropes? That's pretty neat. In the first game, Christopher has to fight his way through 4 different stages and defeat their bosses. They are pretty mediocre. There's a Night Dude, this flying douchebag, and Froggies. Yeah, that's right. Froggies. The enemy design is pretty simple. You'll encounter mummies, giant eyeballs, fire-spitting dragon statues, and the usual hordes of bats. And yes, here is another spoiler warning. The final boss fight pits Christopher against Dracula himself. Do I still have to put out these warnings? It's a Castlevania game. Of course we are going to fight Dracula. Castlevania The Adventure is a nice game to play through if you have nothing else to do and have to kill some time. It's a Game Boy game and looks and sounds exactly like that. Don't expect too much. Still, I would give it 5 out of 10 evil froggies. But that's not all. We will go straight to the second Game Boy release of Castlevania, Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge. The plot of this game is easy to explain. Dracula survived his fight with Christopher Belmont and went into hiding to plan his revenge against the Vampire Killer. 5 years later, it's about time for Christopher's son, Soleil, to become a Vampire Killer, and a special ceremony is held for him in Transylvania. But Soleil suddenly disappears and Dracula's castle Castlevania reappears. It's now up to Christopher to take up the whip again and kill the douche of darkness for good. The player can now choose between 4 different stages to play through. A stage selection. Where have I seen that before? You can already tell that the graphics and stage design got an upgrade, and Christopher is now able to use the axe and holy oil as sub-weapons. After fighting his way through the 4 sub-castles and defeating the bosses there, Christopher now re-enters Castlevania to find Dracula. Here it turns out that the vampire kidnapped Soleil and corrupted him with demonic forces. Christopher manages to beat some sense into his son and eventually kills Dracula for good. There isn't much more to tell you about Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge. It's a neat sequel to Christopher's story, but it doesn't add much to the existing gameplay of the previous installment. The enemies are the same, and even though the stage selection is a nice feature, it doesn't really do much besides looking good. I give Castlevania 2 Belmont's Revenge 5 out of 10 kidnapped sons.